Hello, and thank you for visiting the Master of Science Occupational Therapy Program at UW-Madison. My name is Alexia, and I'm the admissions coordinator for the Master of Science program. And today I'm going to provide you with a little bit more information about our program, and I'll give you some specific information about admissions, and hopefully help answer some of your questions and get you to know a little bit more about our program here at Wisconsin. So it's a good time to be exploring occupational therapy. The future is absolutely bright. U.S. News and World Report has ranked occupational therapy as 9th in America's Best Healthcare Careers of 2014. Time Magazine, OT, rated as one of the 5 most in-demand jobs right now. The projected future growth is 33.5% between the years of 2010 and 2020. So it's just a really great time to be exploring the profession, and I hope to give you a little bit more information about why UW-Madison might be a good option for you to pursue your Master of Science Occupational Therapy degree. So we are one of the departments in the School of Education in the Department of Kinesiology. And within the Department of Kinesiology, students can obtain a Master of Science degree in Occupational Therapy, or they can pursue any of the tracks listed on the slide, also MS options or PhD options within the Department of Kines. We have an outstanding group of faculty members at Wisconsin. Our program director is Dr. Ruth Benedict. She has practiced OT for many years, and she currently participates in research at UW-Madison, and she also is an instructor within our occupational therapy program. Many of Ruth's research topics include epidemiological studies, where she is looking at access to services for children with disabilities. She also has an active study taking place looking at the experience of caregiving for families who have children with cerebral palsy. Ruth is a wonderful instructor. I myself had the opportunity to learn from her, and she is a wonderful leader for our program. Dr. Dorothy Edwards joined our program from Washington University in St. Louis. Dr. Edwards has a number of research studies taking place nationally and internationally. She has connections with foundations and groups that are exploring outcomes for individuals with Alzheimer's disease, those who have experienced stroke, and those experiencing cognitive changes after stroke. Elizabeth Larson, Dr. Elizabeth Larson, is again an outstanding instructor, practicing occupational therapist, and much of her research is targeted around the experience of caregiving for children and families with disability. She also has a number of interests targeted around well-being. Dr. Carla Osterau is another instructor within our program and an active researcher. Much of her research is targeted around feeding situations, especially for families who have children with autism. She also looks at mealtime routines, and she has done research looking at the experience of children who are transitioning from using feeding tubes to now eating traditional meals. And so these are wonderful opportunities then for our OT students to become involved with our core faculty. Continuing on with our core faculty, we have Brittany Travers. Brittany joined our faculty this fall, and her research is primarily targeted at looking at brain functions in individuals experiencing autism. And Dr. Kristen Pickett also joined our faculty this fall, and her research is primarily targeted around motor control issues, and many of her research studies have been involved with individuals experiencing Parkinson's disease. We also have a high number of academic staff and faculty who contribute to the program in different ways. Debbie Bebo is our fieldwork coordinator, so she helps arrange those fieldwork opportunities for students who are currently active in the program. She herself worked for many years with individuals who experience brain injury, spinal cord injury, and so she provides instruction within our program, looking at interventions for adults and older adults. Sharon Gartland, again, a woman who's lovely to learn from, and she herself practices occupational therapy in a pediatric setting part-time, and then she contributes to the program teaching our professional skills courses. I will highlight our professional skills courses a little later in this presentation. Jean Patz, also an instructor within our program. She is primarily responsible for our web design and also for teaching OT 100, which is a course available on our campus for UW-Madison students who are exploring OT. Jean worked for many years in pediatrics, and she has recently contributed to articles that will be published in textbooks. I myself work part-time as an OT. Again, my name is Alexia Rebney. I graduated from the Master of Science program here at Wisconsin in 2007. I primarily work with older adults in a skilled nursing setting. I also do some outpatient therapy. And then I spend the other half of my time here at UW-Madison as the admissions coordinator. Continuing on, more academic staff. Dorothy Pertel owns her own occupational therapy business, so she helps contribute to our organization and management courses. Martha McCurdy and Laura Lee Schoeffel also contribute to the OT program. They help teach our courses where the students are learning about assessments. Both of them practice in OT, primarily with children, and so they themselves are providing these assessments in their practice, and so they are bringing that experience here for the students to learn about. Cindy Jernigan works at Meriter Hospital here in Madison in acute care, and so she helps also contribute to the assessment course for the students because, again, she is completing evaluations and assessments with her patients every day as a practicing OT, and so she brings that experience to the classroom. Sarah Zarowski works part-time at the Wiseman Center, which I'll talk about the Wiseman Center in a few minutes, and Sarah works in pediatrics there as a pediatric OT, and so she brings that experience for the students when they're learning about interventions for children. Some distinguishing features about our program here at Wisconsin: we have a very rich history. We were founded in 1943, so that's 60+ years of occupational therapy students entering the world of OT coming from Wisconsin. We are currently ranked 15 of 155 OT programs in the country. UW-Madison was ranked as a best value public school, and that's also part of our graduate school, so the students know that the value of education they are receiving for the cost has been rated very highly, and that's a good thing to be aware of when you are exploring OT programs. We also, in our OT program, have achieved over $8 million in research grants from the National Institute of Health. This allows our core faculty to complete those research studies that I was mentioning before. This also allows faculty to offer opportunities for students who might be interested in obtaining research assistant positions as graduate students. This gives them a chance to have hands-on opportunity to participate in research outside of what they're expected to do within the program, but it also might help supplement or completely cover the cost of their graduate education. We also have extremely strong partnerships with the clinical community. We have over 100 fieldwork sites across the U.S. where students can complete their fieldwork. Our faculty are connected with multiple national and international organizations. We have here in Madison our UW Hospital, where there is a stroke survivor group, a brain injury survivors group, a spinal cord injury survivors group. We have the Institute on Aging, the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute, the Global Health Institute, a number of opportunities where our faculty contribute at a greater level in Wisconsin and beyond. We also have the Wiseman Center, which is a clinic that is located right next to UW Hospital, and the clinic is dedicated to promoting health and development for children experiencing different developmental conditions. So there's an autism clinic at the Wiseman Center, there's a cerebral palsy clinic at the Wiseman Center, there's a communication aids and systems clinic at the Wiseman Center, and these different clinics often offer students the opportunity to work, participate, or partnerships for research within our OT program here at Wisconsin. Another nice feature of our program is that we have only seats for 25 students, and with all those faculty and academic staff that I mentioned earlier, you can see that the students are well supported throughout their time at Wisconsin. This also allows our students to participate in a mentored research project. So this is outside of an opportunity to become a research assistant. This is just something that every student has the opportunity to do, and they each get to select who they'd like to have as their research mentor, and they get to complete a mentored research project within the program, true and active research, and many of our students have had the opportunity to present their research at the national conference in the spring. At Wisconsin, our program is 2.5 years. It begins in June and wraps up in December, 2.5 years later. We currently have a 100% pass rate on the boards exam for practice. So when our students finish their field work after their 2.5 years of the OT program, they can sit to complete the boards exam to practice OT. For the last 3 years, 100% of our students have passed the test on their first attempt. So I'm just going to mention a little bit more about our curriculum here at Wisconsin. Our curriculum kind of falls within 4 different strands. We have courses about foundational knowledge, critical reasoning and clinical decision making, professional skills, and scientific inquiry courses. Our foundational knowledge courses help our students learn about those different skills that are going to be foundations for their practice. So our program begins with a human cadaver dissection taught by the anatomy department here at Wisconsin, the same instructors who teach the medical students and all of our different health profession students on campus. Our OT students participate in the dissection during the summer. They also have a palpation anatomy discussion section that's provided by Debbie Bebo, our fieldwork coordinator and instructor within the program. That allows students to kind of connect what they're seeing within the cadavers to real-life patients. We have our neuroanatomy courses offered in the fall semester, and this allows students to learn about those different neurological pathways so that if there is an interruption in that pathway, the students can be thinking about how is that going to impact function. We also have our medical conditions course, and what is unique about this course is that we actually invite physicians or experts in practice who study various health conditions to provide the lecture for the students. So the students are learning about experts when they're learning about cerebral palsy. They're learning from experts when they're learning about multiple sclerosis, autism, prosthetics, spinal cord injury, different medical conditions that the students might encounter when working as OTs, and that's across the lifespan. We have the students learn about the basis of those medical conditions so that they will be able to then apply that and think about how is that going to impact someone's ability to participate in the things they want to do. Our critical reasoning and clinical decision-making courses help our students learn those intervention skills that they're going to use when practicing OT. Our program uses kind of a developmental model within that. So after the cadaver dissection in the summer, the students are participating in a few more of those foundational knowledge courses in the fall, and then their first spring has a pediatric focus. Within that semester, the students are learning about interventions in pediatrics. They are also completing their first level 1 fieldwork, which is 40 hours, and many students will do that in the Madison area. As I mentioned, the Weizmann Center, UW Hospital, Meriter Hospital, and a number of agencies throughout the Madison community that support our OT program offer fieldwork opportunities for students right in the Madison area. The MSOT students have the opportunity to actually be off during their first and second year of the program. When they come back for that second year in the fall, the semester has an adolescent and young adult focus. Again, that semester includes a 40-hour fieldwork and coursework, which is primarily highlighted around individuals within those age populations. The final spring semester then has an older adult focus. Again, the students participate in 40 hours of level 1 fieldwork while they are learning about conditions and individuals experiencing conditions within those age populations. You'll also notice level 2 fieldwork is indicated on this slide. Level 2 fieldwork includes 2 3-month internships. And for those clinicals, we again mentioned over 100 places that students can choose from where they will spend 3 months full-time completing fieldwork at that site. And at the end of that internship, they are expected to be functioning at the level of an entry-level therapist within that practice setting. So it's a really neat opportunity for students to hone in on their practice skills. Our professional skills courses help support students to be successful outside of just providing the intervention. They learn about ethics in healthcare, cultural sensitivity, advocacy, community-based practice, where they actually participate in grant writing. They learn about managing their own therapy practice. So again, those skills which are going to help them be successful outside of just providing the intervention. The scientific inquiry track of the program is that research track I was speaking about. So this is where students have the opportunity to answer their own question during their time throughout the OT program. So when they begin in the fall, they choose who they'd like to have as their mentor. Then within that 2 years, they are working with their mentor, learning different statistical analysis techniques and how to complete literature reviews, how to critically examine research articles. So at the end of that 2 years, they'll have a poster for their capstone presentation that is true and active research. It's a presentation for therapists in the community. And again, many of our students have presented their posters at the American Occupational Therapy Association conference in the spring. This is an example of one of our web pages within our OT site at Wisconsin. This is the About web page, and you can see the link listed at the top. On this website, you will be able to view some statistics regarding the median GPA and median GRE scores for students offered admission. There are also links on this webpage to further information about the courses and the curriculum, scholarship information, anything that you might find valuable. This is a good place to begin. So to highlight what students need to do to be eligible for admission here at Wisconsin, we do require a bachelor's degree, and that bachelor's degree must be completed prior to the start of the program in June. We require at least a 3.0 cumulative GPA on the last 60 semester credits of the bachelor's degree. Those courses included in that GPA are only courses applied toward the bachelor's degree. And again, we look for at least a 3.0. That's the minimum requirement of the graduate school. We do require the GRE completed within at least 5 years prior to applying. We want to see 3 letters of recommendation, a statement of purpose. We require 40 hours of observation of an occupational therapist or a certified occupational therapy assistant. And we want to see at least 2 different settings with 2 different age populations. As far as for coursework, we require 6 credits of lifespan development, 3 credits of abnormal psychology or behavioral pathology, 3 credits of statistics, 3 to 5 credits of human physiology with lab, 3 to 5 credits of human anatomy, and starting in summer of 2016, we will require an anatomy lab. A note for any UW-Madison students that if you're looking to take one of these courses at Wisconsin, please contact me very early during the semester prior to when you would like to enroll. These courses fill up quickly, and you might be able to receive priority enrollment if you contact me to assure that you'll be able to complete the prerequisites for the OT program. Applying for admission. So we kind of have a 3-step process here at Wisconsin. We do want to see the OT-CAS application. So that is the common application service offered by the American Occupational Therapy Association. This allows applicants to send all of their information to one area, and then they can select which schools they want to send their applications to. Outside of the OT-CAS application, we also require the UW-Madison Graduate School application. This allows us to be able to have your personal information in our Wisconsin system. This also allows us to be able to view your GRE scores if you send them to Wisconsin. Within that graduate school application, we also have the supplemental application for occupational therapy, and that is the location where you will be able to identify which courses you completed to satisfy the specific prerequisites for our OT program here at Wisconsin. This is an example of our applying webpage. Again, this information is available online. 3 steps, follow them, read this webpage closely. There's also further information about the admission cycle indicated as you scroll down this website, so be sure to visit it. I wanted to show you what the OT-CAS homepage looks like, and again, you can begin exploring the OT-CAS website prior to when you're interested in applying. If you click on the participating programs link, you can actually look at all the different schools that utilize OT-CAS, and it's a nice way to explore information about programs and what the prerequisites are. It's a nice tool to use when you're beginning to think about where you want to apply to OT school. This is an example of our UW-Madison Graduate School application page. I just wanted to highlight that it's a great idea to read the frequently asked questions on this page. Within the graduate school application, when you begin, you'll be able to see that the left column indicates the different sections of the application. So we don't need you to submit letters of recommendation again or a personal statement, as we will have that in your OT-CAS application. But we do want you to click on the supplemental application for occupational therapy, where you will be able to complete and upload this worksheet, again, where you will identify the specific courses that you completed to satisfy our prerequisites at UW-Madison. The sheet is an active Excel spreadsheet, so it will calculate the GPA of your coursework for you, and then that is the sheet that you then upload back to your application, so we are able to view your prerequisite coursework. So I wanted to highlight what the admissions committee at UW-Madison specifically looks for when reviewing applications. So each applicant is rated on how well they display communication and interpersonal skills, an insight to occupational therapy, leadership skills, life experience, maturity and responsibility, and depth and breadth of pre-OT experience. So when writing that personal statement, This is really your time to communicate why OT is right for you. How are you a good fit for practice? This is how we're able to gather that insight that you have to OT. So really make sure to be very descriptive. Take the time to edit that statement multiple times. Have multiple eyes look at that statement for you. If you're a UW-Madison student or if your school offers a writing center, be sure to visit that writing center. Work with a writing fellow who can really help give you some guidance on composing a strong personal statement for graduate school. For the letters of recommendation, again, we want to see at least 3, and it might be wise to talk to those that you're interested in obtaining letters from to identify that the program is looking for candidates who are creative, who show strong leadership skills, communication skills. So if this individual is able to write about those skills, it'll help the admissions committee further understand why you might be a great fit for the OT program at Wisconsin. We do want to see at least 1 academic reference, so it's a good idea in your time as an undergraduate to really start building those relationships with faculty members. If you're able to obtain a research experience, the individual who has mentored you through that would be a great candidate to have as a letter for your application. So, some students often ask me, what is the profile of students who have been offered admission at Wisconsin in the past? So for the class of 2015, we admitted 26 students that year. They ranged in age from 22 to 36. So not every single student comes directly from undergrad. It's really common to see about half of the students move right from undergrad to graduate school, and the other half take a year or more off in between. It just depends on what's right for you at the time in your life and what you've been able to achieve and accomplish up to that point prior to when you're ready to apply. We, of that class, have 16 of those students are Wisconsin residents and 10 are non-residents. And 15 of those students achieve their bachelor's degree at UW-Madison. Of those, some common majors that we see typically for students offered admission include psychology, rehabilitation psychology, kinesiology, and biology. But again, the committee looks for candidates who display a breadth of life experience. So we do often see some really unique majors as well, because these are individuals who have explored what's interested them most, and now they're going to apply that to their future in OT. So we actually have a student who has an environmental studies background, history, sociology, and zoology as well in our class of 2015. In our class of 2016, we have 25 students. When they began the program, ranged in age from 22 to 28. 17 of those students are Wisconsin residents and 8 are non-residents. And in this class, 7 of those students achieved their bachelor's degree at UW-Madison. Common majors: human development and family studies, psychology, rehabilitation psychology, and kinesiology. And again, some unique backgrounds: biosystems engineering. Engineering is a really exciting undergraduate major, especially if you're interested in completing assistive technology or possibly obtaining a graduate assistant position in the OT program. Maybe it would be in the Department of Engineering, completely possible. Education, biochemistry, theater, recreation management. Again, really unique majors for our students entering the OT program. Our median GRE scores for those offered admission this past summer are listed on this slide. Also included here are the median GPA of the last 60 credits of the bachelor's degree, and the median GPA of prerequisite coursework. I also am commonly asked about the observational experience requirement and, how many hours do students really need to complete to be competitive when they're applying to OT school. So this is specifically hours of observation, time spent observing OTs. So for those students offered admission, some students, completed 40 hours of observation, and then maybe they completed hands-on opportunities in other areas of their life. So maybe they were volunteering, maybe they're working as a camp counselor with individuals with disabilities, maybe they held a job position as a care aide, maybe they were CNAs, different opportunities to kind of get out there and make sure that OT is right for you. But again, some students shadowed for many hours beyond that. But the median hours of observation was 70 for those students offered admission this past year. And the number of settings was 4. So again, taking the time to explore the field, kind of might help you think about where you want to complete a field work or maybe where you want to work someday, but just making sure that it's right for you since you're investing so much time into applying and also money for your future education. I also wanted to highlight that 76% of our students who began the OT program this past summer had research experience. So again, that is valuable, being that at Wisconsin, each student completes a mentored research project. A candidate who has research experience might have a little edge when they begin the OT program at Wisconsin. Some resources for more information are included on this slide. The American Occupational Therapy Association has wonderful resources for students exploring or for anyone who wants to think about transitioning to a future in OT. They have videos, they have prospective student chats, they have education and career planning information, so really nice place to visit when you're exploring the field. At Wisconsin, I mentioned our OT 100 course is available for students who might be thinking about the field, and it's a 1-credit course offered. It also counts as 10 hours of shadowing. We also have a pre-OT student organization at Wisconsin, a nice student org to be involved in. Those students are completing activities in the community, service projects. They actually partner with our OT students for a few projects in the community as well, so it's a nice way to kind of just start networking in the world of OT. In Wisconsin, we have our Wisconsin Occupational Therapy Association. In Dane County, this is a volunteer website, the volunteeryourtime.org, but I'm sure that in any community or school where you might be, there are centers or hubs for information to kind of list different things that you could possibly involve yourself in to gain more experience that would be valuable for OT. The National Board of Certification of Occupational Therapists is the board that provides the exam for practice. So just if you're curious, that's the website you can visit for that. So again, my name is Alexia Rebney. If you have further questions, I'd be happy to communicate with you. I would encourage you to contact me via email, and if you'd like to set up an individual meeting, I'm typically on campus 1 or 2 days a week, so I'd be happy to meet with you. I also work closely with our graduate program coordinator in the Department of Kinesiology. His name is John Hageman, and he would also be happy to communicate with you if you have questions about submitting the graduate school application. So thank you so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate that you've sat down with me and taken the time to explore the OT program here at Wisconsin. Beautiful campus. If you haven't visited before, I wanted to just share some of our highlights. We are seated between 2 lakes with our state capitol right here in the middle of campus. Beautiful campus, all times of year, 4 seasons. You get to experience 4 seasons here at Wisconsin. Badger athletics, couldn't be better. Absolutely exciting, super fun. Beautiful campus, known for green space, known for gardens, and then of course the Union Terrace, sitting down by the lake, over 800 student organizations to be a part of. It's just a great place to live and learn. So I hope you enjoyed learning about UW-Madison's OT program today. Thank you.